Oh, sorry. Nothing to worry about. I was just trying to put myself in Merseyside Police's situation at the moment and trying to feel how they must feel right now. I bet some of you wondered what was going on there. Anyway, little update about my arrest on the 20th of February, where I was arrested outside Crosby police station for attempting to take some stock footage. Bearing in mind that I didn't actually manage to get any stock footage. While I was waiting for some police cars to come out of the police compound, I was approached multiple times by police officers, at which point, obviously, as you may have seen the videos already, I started to film, which interrupted my waiting to get the footage that I wanted. I was subsequently questioned, threatened, bullied, intimidated, eventually arrested, assaulted, kidnapped, and taken off to custody, where I wasn't charged with anything as such. But they arrested me for Section 50 of the Police Reform Act, which gives police the power to order you to give you your name and address. Now, you don't have to give your date of birth under Section 50, but you do have to give your name and address. If they believe that you've been engaged in antisocial behaviour. So they don't need any proof, they don't need any evidence as such that you've committed an antisocial behaviour issue. They just need to believe that you've committed antisocial behaviour in order to get those details from you. Now, this kind of goes back to Section 44 of the Terrorism Act, where police were abusing that power to stop and question people for legitimate activities. That was repealed because it breached people's human rights, and I believe that Section 50 does exactly the same thing, which is, it's not the reason I didn't give my details. If you look at the video, if you watch the part 4 of my arrest, you'll see that I didn't actually refuse at that point to give my details. I was trying to figure out what my options were. Although the police will say I didn't have any options, they'll just say that in fact they did say I didn't have any options, maybe not in so many words, but it was a case of, you give us your details or you're going to be arrested. And that, that was as far as the options went. But the video clearly shows that I didn't at that point refuse to give any details. I tried looking through my folder of information at Section 50, which then went on to say about antisocial behaviour. So I went to look at the Antisocial Behaviour Act, or the details that I had in my folder with regards to antisocial behaviour. They didn't want me to do that. They got aggressive in their tone of voice. They, threatening, ordering me to give them the details. And then a policewoman, you can hear, starts asking me questions. I then start engaging with that police officer, the female police officer, and she's asking me questions, and I'm about to respond to those questions when I believe the inspector turned around, he sort of flips his arm like that and mutters under his breath something along the lines of, just nick him, or that's it, arrest him, or whatever it might be, and that was it, and I got arrested. Beardy boy that was standing to my right put a handcuff on. The guy that you see in that video that's standing directly in front of me, the tall police officer, very macho, very big man you are. He came steaming round the other side of me and got my arm, twisted my arm behind me. You could see throughout that whole interaction that I was not aggressive in any way, shape or form. I gave no indication that I would be violent or anything like that. But yet they arrested me, twisted my arm behind my back. They put the handcuffs on bloody tightly, to the point where when I got to custody, I actually said to the officer, do not take my handcuffs off because I want the custody sergeant to see how tight you've put them on. But he refused that request and he took them off anyway. Getting back to it anyway, guys, received an email the other day because I've done a subject access request for everything. In fact, I'll tell you, exactly what I asked for. Okay, so what I've asked for in my subject access request, and I put this in on the 1st of March, it was any crime report in which I or the incident are mentioned, any and all statements from the public or police officers in which I or the incident are mentioned, body-worn video of the entire incident in which I or the incident are mentioned or shown. I've been informed that there is footage from 2 body-worn videos. The custody suite CCTV and audio from the exterior of the station and the interior of the custody suite itself pertaining to my visit to the station after arrest. Crosby Police Station CCTV overlooking the rear station car park at the time of the alleged offence. Any and all recordings of radio conversations between officers, all ranks, and officers, all ranks, and between officers, all ranks, and the control room in which I or the incident are mentioned. Any and all digital communication between any member of Merseyside Police, all ranks, including emails in which I or the incident are mentioned. Any and all details of complaints made to the police, be it from other police officers, all ranks, or members of the public in which I or the incident are mentioned. Now, that's all the information that I've asked for. That's pretty much everything that I think is going to be, available to me. I did get my custody record the other week, as you see from previous video, but I had an email 2 days ago from Data Protection saying that, and I'll tell you exactly what it says. Good afternoon. Please find attached the response to your subject access request. I was expecting it to say, because I've asked them if I can go and collect it rather than them post it to me, because it's going to be quite a bit of information. So the letter says, RE Right of Access, Schedule 2, Part 2, Data Protection Act 2018. In reply to your request for information which may be held about you by Merseyside Police, the Data Protection Act places an obligation on the police when holding personal information to provide a copy of that information to the individual concerned, unless an exemption applies. From the personal details provided in your request, there is no information the Chief Officer is obliged to supply under the provisions of the Act. No information can be disclosed until the investigation is finished. Now we're talking, this is well over a month, and this is all for me standing at the rear of the police station. Everything that they need, all the evidence that there is readily available. I've put everything on YouTube that I took. The videos that I took, they've got 2 body-worn cameras and they've got statements from their police officers. So why it's taken this long, and it says there that it's still under investigation, I have no idea. The response relates only to information held locally by Merseyside Police and does not relate to the other organisations named in your application, which is not under the control of the Chief Constable, as the Chief Constable is not the data controller for those organisations. I didn't ask for anything else from anywhere else. It was all Merseyside Police. Merseyside Police. The custody suite may be on the Wirral rather than in Liverpool, but that's where I was taken by Merseyside Police, and so I should be able to get that anyway. If you think that the above statement is incorrect, please write to the address below, quoting a reference number at the top of this letter and providing details of how or why you believe the response is incorrect. The matter will then be reviewed and a written response supplied to you. That was, 3 days ago. 3 days ago. Today, however, I received a letter in the post. I'll show it to you, but it's going to be backwards. I think that's backwards showing on there. Basically, it says, official, sensitive, for criminal justice related purposes only. Dear police abusing powers. It doesn't actually say that, but still, would be quite amusing if it did. I refer to the offences for which you were recently investigated. The details, which are offence, fail to give name and address to constable and engaging in antisocial behaviour. Date, 20th of February 2019. Police station, Wirral Custody Suite. It has been decided that no further action will be taken at this time in respect of the offence detailed above for the following reasons. There is insufficient evidence to provide a realistic prospect of conviction. The case will be kept under review. If further evidence becomes available in the future, you may be rearrested and a decision to charge may be made. This is where they hold you over a barrel, you see. I might be wrong. Remember, I'm not, legally trained, so I don't, everything that I say on my channel is my own opinion, unless I can find evidence of something, and then I'll show you that evidence. But yeah, the case will be kept under review. If further evidence becomes available in the future, you may be rearrested and a decision to charge may be made. The decision to charge may be reconsidered if a review indicates that it was clearly wrong and should not be allowed to stand. This notice only applies to the offence specified above. The fact that no further action is being taken at this time does not prevent the aggrieved party pursuing criminal proceedings or civil remedy. You're absolutely right, Merseyside Police. It doesn't prevent the aggrieved party. And the aggrieved party in this case is me. So how do you feel, PC Hunt? Seeing as there's not enough evidence, and after all of that, which you knew when it was happening, you knew it was wrong to do what you did. You just didn't like the fact that somebody was standing up for themselves, did you? See, you think because you're wearing a uniform, you've got massive bollocks, and you can do what you want and say what you want. Well, unfortunately, you haven't, and that's quite clearly shown. Okay, you abused your power, you overstepped your authority, as did the sergeant who came out, as did the inspector. And to surround me and try and intimidate me like that, and assault me and kidnap me, you will be hearing from me in the near future. But yeah, so do me a favour though, officers, any officers that was involved in that incident, and you watch this video, do me a favour. Don't go home and beat up your partner because you've been bitch slapped, alright? And I'm not suggesting that you do. I'm just saying that, you know, in some cases these things happen. You know, don't take your anger out on other people. And I'm sorry to anybody else in the Merseyside area who gets the wrath of these police officers because they made a cock up. Anyway, as I said before, I'll update you on whatever's happening as and when it's happening, as and when I can release that information to you. So that's it. So that's where we're at the moment. As I said in my live video last week, I am pursuing this. Updates of that are going to be intermittent. I'm not going to be able to give you too much information about what's happening and what, you know, and when and why and all the rest of it. But when I can give information, I will give information regarding that process. So as for now, for all of those people out there that are watching this saying the police were right, the police should have arrested you, and you know, basically sucking the police's dick, that's what I say to you, okay? Because no further action. All right, because they do not have the evidence. And I know you're going to say, I know what you're going to say. You're going to say, just because they don't have the evidence doesn't mean he was doing something wrong. Well, considering the offence that I was arrested for doesn't require evidence, I think that pretty much shows that I did nothing wrong. So all of you naysayers, all of you haters out there, I don't mind you commenting, because the more you comment, the more my videos get boosted. So, you know, carry on. But there is, as I say, just one more, you know, just that one thing I wanted to say, and that was, fuck you. Later on, everyone.